The silence was the worst part. It crept into every corner of the house, filling the rooms with a heavy, uneasy stillness. Even the usual hum of the refrigerator and the distant sounds of the city had vanished, replaced by a quiet that felt almost unnatural. For 3 days the world had gone quiet. The blackout stretched on, and with each passing hour the sense of isolation grew. Outside, the streets were deserted, and inside, the family huddled together, waiting for any sign of change. On the fourth morning, a single light flickered to life in the kitchen. The blackout was over. Relief washed over the family, but it was quickly replaced by a new wave of anxiety as they realized what the outage might have cost them. But a new kind of darkness settled in as the family gathered around the silent fridge. The hum of electricity had returned, but the uncertainty remained. The unspoken question, is our emergency food now a pile of spoiled waste? The fear of losing their carefully stored supplies was almost as overwhelming as the blackout itself. Mark, the father, felt the weight of his family's worried stares. He knew they were looking to him for answers, for reassurance, for hope. He had spent years building their emergency stockpile, researching long-lasting foods, and making sure they would be prepared for anything. Every can, every jar, every bag of rice was a piece of his plan to keep his family safe. Now, the thought that all that effort could be wiped out by a power failure was gut-wrenching. The possibility that their security could vanish so quickly was a harsh reality to face. The children, usually energetic, were quiet, sensing the tension. Their laughter had faded, replaced by anxious glances and whispered questions. They had been eating from the pantry, but the real treasures were in the cold storage. The fresh food, the meat, the dairy, those were the things they feared losing most. The fear wasn't just about wasted money, it was about survival. Every meal mattered, and every lost item was a blow to their sense of security. Mark took a deep breath, knowing panic would only make things worse. He needed to be strong, to set an example for his family, even as his own doubts threatened to overwhelm him. He had to think clearly, act deliberately, and rely on his knowledge. Every decision now could mean the difference between comfort and hardship in the days ahead. The battle for his family's food supply wasn't over when the power went out. In fact, it had only just begun. A new battle had just begun to assess, salvage, and survive with what they had left. Every item had to be checked, every decision weighed carefully. This moment tested more than just supplies, it tested their spirit. It was a test of unity, of resourcefulness, and of hope in the face of uncertainty. The feeling of dread was a powerful enemy, but Mark knew he had to fight it. He had to show his family that together they could face whatever came next. The real test was about mental resilience and survival. In the end, it wasn't just about the food. It was about holding on to hope and finding strength in each other when the world outside seemed so uncertain. In the aftermath of a crisis, a dangerous myth often spreads like wildfire. People believe that once the power goes out, everything in your fridge and freezer is instantly ruined, destined for the trash. This belief is not only wrong, but it leads to incredible waste, food, money, and effort all tossed away unnecessarily. The truth is, your home's cold storage is far more resilient than most people realize. A modern refrigerator and a well-stocked chest freezer can act like a fortress, holding the cold in and keeping spoilage at bay for hours, even days. The secret lies in insulation. These appliances are designed to maintain safe temperatures much longer than you might expect, especially if you keep the doors closed. Believing everything is spoiled right away is like giving up before the fight even starts. It's surrendering to fear instead of using knowledge. Think of your refrigerator and freezer as giant insulated coolers. They're built to buy you precious time. A full freezer packed with food can stay frozen for up to 48 hours if you don't open it. Your refrigerator, if left closed, can keep food safe for around 4 hours, sometimes even longer depending on how full it is. These are your windows of opportunity, critical hours to make smart decisions and save what you can. The myth of total loss ignores this crucial buffer period when your food is still safe and salvageable. When the power returns, that's your cue to act quickly and wisely, not to panic or give up. Become a food detective. Use your senses and a thermometer to separate the good from the bad, and don't just assume everything is lost. Survival is about making the most of what you have, using your resources and knowledge to stretch your supplies. Your preparations are there for a reason. Evaluate, use, and adapt. Don't let a myth rob you of your hard-earned security. When the power goes out, most people immediately worry about the fridge and freezer. The thought of losing all that perishable food is stressful, and it's easy to feel anxious as the hours tick by and the temperature inside those appliances starts to rise. But in reality, the true unsung hero of your kitchen is your dry pantry, the place where your food security quietly waits, ready for any emergency. Canned goods, dried foods, grains, and other shelf-stable items are completely unaffected by a power outage. They don't spoil when the lights go out, and they're always ready to provide a meal. These foods don't need refrigeration or electricity. All they require is a dry, room-temperature environment, something most homes can provide, even during a blackout. Your pantry staples are the reliable foundation of your survival plan, quietly waiting to step in when fresh food is no longer an option. Canning preserves food for years, locking in nutrients and flavor, while dry goods like rice, beans, and flour resist bacteria and mold, staying safe to eat for months or even years. Your pantry is your fortress in a crisis, providing guaranteed calories, nutrition, and peace of mind when everything else feels uncertain. With a well-stocked pantry, you can focus on other critical tasks, like staying warm, keeping your family safe, or managing communications, instead of panicking about your next meal. While you might be anxiously checking your fridge and freezer, your pantry stands ready, providing the sustenance and energy you need to get through the outage. It's the bedrock of your preparedness, offering stability, flexibility, and time to make smart decisions. Take a moment to appreciate your pantry. It represents not just food, but security, foresight, and the comfort of knowing you're ready for whatever comes. In a blackout, your pantry's strength is revealed. It's not a weakness, it's your greatest asset. A well-rounded prepping strategy includes layers of security, but the pantry is always the core. Remember, your pantry is your first and most reliable line of defense, your shield against uncertainty and hunger. When the power goes out, a clock starts ticking, not to disaster, but to action. Your first mission: keep the doors shut to preserve cold air. Resist the urge to peek. Trust the insulation. Consolidate items strategically between freezers to maximize cold retention. Group frozen items together to help them stay frozen longer. Add more cold mass with frozen gel packs or water bottles. These ice blocks are invaluable in a prolonged outage. Cover your freezer with blankets for extra insulation, but don't block vents. These actions in the first 6 hours are proactive survival. You're not just waiting for power to return, you're actively preserving resources. Every step you take extends the life of your food supply. Your mission is to protect your investment. Be proactive, not reactive, in your survival strategy. Once power returns, your refrigerator is the first place to check. The danger zone for food is between 40 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit. If the power was out for more than 4 hours without ice, assume perishables are unsafe. Use a reliable food thermometer. Don't trust your eyes or nose. If the fridge is at or below 40 degrees, your food is likely safe. Check individual items. If above 40 degrees, discard them. Some foods are more resilient: hard cheeses, butter, whole fruits, and condiments. Be ruthless with dairy, meat, and prepared foods. Don't taste food to check safety. Even a small amount can make you ill. Discard raw or cooked meat, milk, and leftovers if the power was out too long. Keep hard cheeses, butter, whole fruits, and condiments. This assessment is about safety, not preference. Protect your family from foodborne illness with discipline and smart choices. The freezer is your fortress of cold, holding the line longer than a refrigerator. A full chest freezer can keep food frozen for 48 hours or more. Look for evidence of thawing. Ice crystals mean safety. If food packages are hard and frosty, they're safe. Signs of refrozen liquid indicate complete thawing. Use the ice cube test. If it melted and refroze, the contents thawed. If the cube is intact, the temperature likely stayed safe. Partially thawed food with ice crystals is generally safe to refreeze. Be aware that quality might be lower. Cook partially thawed meat immediately for safety. Your freezer offers more hope than your fridge. Use the ice cube test and check for ice crystals. Make informed decisions to protect your frozen stockpile. After dealing with cold storage, inspect your pantry. Use your senses, sight, smell, and touch to check for damage. Look for bulging, leaking, or dented cans. Discard them immediately. Check dry goods for moisture damage or pest intrusion. Discard compromised items and check their neighbors. Smell for off odors in jars or packages. Trust your instincts. Rancid smells in oils, nuts, and flours indicate spoilage. Use your sense of touch to check packaging integrity. Feel for moisture or clumping in dry goods. Systematically use your senses to confirm pantry safety. This process ensures food safety and renews confidence in your supplies. Your pantry is your survival lifeline. Treat it with respect. A thorough inspection protects your family and your investment. After the crisis, it's time to rebuild smarter. See it as a learning experience, not a setback. Make an inventory of what you used, lost, and what survived. Strengthen your pantry with more ready-to-eat items. Consider a variety of canned fruits and vegetables for morale. Rethink your cold storage strategy. Fill empty space with ice blocks. Prioritize high-value proteins and nutrient-dense foods. Invest in tools like a reliable food thermometer and a small generator. Stock up on extra ice packs and coolers. Rebuilding is about upgrading your system based on experience. Use this knowledge to create a more resilient stockpile. Your experience is a blueprint for better preparedness. Upgrade your supplies and strategy for future challenges. Survival is about knowledge and mental fortitude, not just gear. A blackout can be disorienting, but it doesn't have to be a disaster. Panic leads to waste and bad decisions. Knowledge leads to calm, confident action. The experience of managing your food supply should empower you. You faced a real-world test and emerged stronger. Use this experience to inspire continued preparation. Refine your plans and upgrade your supplies. Share your knowledge with your community. A prepared community is a strong community. Your confidence can help others overcome their fears. Prepping is about living with confidence, not fear. Trust your planning, knowledge, and yourself. When the lights go out, let your training kick in. Prepare with intelligence, act with courage, and thrive.